so excited to be on this live and just have a little chat with you guys. If you are seeing my face for the first time, my name is Eva Mtali, and on this channel, we talk about mostly travel related stuff. We talk about relocation abroad. We talk about life abroad. We talk about legit jobs abroad. So if any of those topics are exciting to you, you want to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and also make sure to hit the notification bell, which is on the right hand side of the subscribe button. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for all the support. I appreciate you and your time. And guys, you know how we roll here. As you come onto the channel, do let me know where you are watching me from, what time it is where you are, and just say hello in the comment section below. And once you have done that, make sure to share the video, give it a thumbs up. I know you're gonna love this video. As usual, my videos, lots of gems left, right, center. So guys, if you have not watched the first part of this video where I talked about how to position yourself for opportunities to relocate, or to travel abroad, or to live abroad next year, then you want to make sure you watch part one of that video. I was doing that video and then it became too long. I think it was like 2 hours, but there's lots and lots of gems there. So I decided to do a part 2 of this video, and I'm gonna make it very short. So guys, a disclaimer, I am not an immigration agent. I am not an immigration lawyer, and everything I'm gonna be talking about in this video is based either on my experience, experiences of other people, or my own research from the Government of Canada website. So guys, I touched on this a little bit, but I just wanted to go a little bit in depth. I had talked about some of the things you need to do. Generally, I believe that if you want to relocate from your home country to another country, except in very exceptional circumstances, I tell people give yourself between 18 months and 24 months, because this is ample time for you. If let's say you want to upgrade your skill, you want to do some paperwork, you want to, whatever you want to do, it's ample time to actually start something and finish and be in a situation where you can actually leave your home country comfortably. You can do the, what I call the housekeeping you need to do in your home country, and then avoid a situation whereby here an opportunity drops and you probably don't have a passport, or you win a green card and you don't have your KCAC certificate, or you get nominated for permanent residence in Canada but you don't have the money to show us proof of funds, and all those interesting scenarios you guys share with me in the comments as well as in my inbox. But today guys, I want to focus on a very special topic, and I want you guys to listen to me very carefully. I don't want people misquoting me. I don't want people listening to half of the video or 2 sentences and then just running all over the internet with my name. So guys, I want to talk about those specifically who want to seek asylum in other countries. So those are the ones I'm going to be talking about in today's video. So generally, for you to be able to qualify to seek asylum or refugee status in any country, basically is for protection purposes. So if you fear persecution, or you would be in danger if you had to leave this country you're seeking asylum in, or if you are in danger if you stayed in your home country, then you may need to, you can consider immigration through seeking asylum or through refugee status. So some of the dangers that you may be facing include torture, risk to your life, or risk to cruel or unusual treatment or punishment. So guys, that means you don't just wake up in the morning and decide, okay, I am so tired of Ruto's tax regime, so I want to go and become an economic refugee, or to go and become an economic asylum seeker. No, your life must be excuse me, must be in danger. And I have done a full in-depth series on my TikTok. If you go to my TikTok, Eva Mtali, you will find videos. If you just go to my TikTok, there's a place written series. I have done full, I think it's 3 videos, separate full videos I've done about the circumstances and how to apply and all that. And you can go and check that video. You're gonna have to pay for it though, very little money. I think it's like $2. And the reason I've done that is so that you can watch those videos to the end and don't just go and take bits and pieces, go and arrive wherever you arrive and start saying Eva didn't give us all the information. So that's why I have put them there as paid, but it's very little money, like I think 300 Kenya shillings or something. So I won't go into all the details. You can go and check those details there. I'm going to be focusing on some of the preparations you need to make. So if you feel that you could face one of these risks, if you are in your home country, that is torture, risk to your life, or risk of cruel or unusual treatment or punishment, then you can go and seek asylum in whatever country you think is easier for you or that is closest for you to escape this kind of danger. I hope that is clear. So, for example, I'm gonna focus more on the US and Canada because those are the ones I'm more familiar with. So, for example, if you want to seek asylum in Canada or in the US, they have what they call a safe third country agreement. And that's why, I remember, we're talking about positioning yourself for an opportunity abroad, and we are focusing on this video if you want to go through the asylum route. So I'll focus, as I've said, I'll focus more on Canada and the US. I'm more familiar with those, but I have done another full video for Germany. If you want, you can go and check it out. So beginning March 24th, 2023, Canada and the US decided, okay, this law had always been there, but on March 23rd, 2023, because of things that have been happening on the internet, you can watch some of my videos, I've talked about them. They decided that the safe third country agreement is gonna be expanded. What that means is that you cannot, for example, enter Canada from the US along the land border and make a refugee claim or make an asylum claim. So for example, let's say I am in New York and then I decide, okay, you know what, I want to go and seek asylum in Canada. You're not able to. Previously, it was for specific border crossings, but from March 24th, 2023, the entire land border between Canada and the US, including their internal waterways, you cannot seek asylum. Let's say you cannot cross from Canada to go to the US to seek asylum, or from the US and cross to Canada to seek asylum, unless under very, very special conditions. So that is first preparation you need to do. If, let's say, you're planning to go and seek asylum in Canada, you have no business going to the US first, like moving from the US to Canada. If you're planning to seek asylum in the US, you have no business leaving from Canada to go to the US. I hope I'm making sense. So that's one preparation you have to make. So even if you're having your travels, you need to plan accordingly. Otherwise, you will not be allowed. Number 2, if you want to make an asylum claim, let's say in Canada, you must be in Canada. If you want to make an asylum claim in the US, you must be in the US. So this is what it happens. So in Canada, for example, once you enter Canada, you can seek asylum in 2 ways. You can seek at the port of entry, that is, let's say at the airport, for example, or at the seaport or whatever, or you can seek asylum, like you enter Canada and then you seek asylum afterwards. And I've also mentioned this in my other videos. I'm not gonna cover everything, but generally, and this is why I talked about positioning yourself, I will focus more on if you're planning to seek asylum at the airport, which a lot of people usually do. They don't do any preparation. Once they land at the airport, they start calling me, sending me messages, Instagram, YouTube, where, like bombarding with messages. So this is what I want to talk about. If you are planning to seek asylum at the point of entry in Canada, one thing you must be aware of is that when you arrive at, let's say you are at the border control and they ask you, okay, so Eva, what brings you to Canada? And you say, I'm here to seek asylum. Of course, they're going to ask you why. So you're gonna say maybe because I'm being segregated because of my race, I'm being segregated because of my religion, or I'm being segregated because of my political opinion, or because of my nationality, or because I'm part of a social group, for example, women, because I have a particular sexual orientation, I'm gay, or I don't know, I am the only Muslim in my entire Christian family and they are segregating me, whatever reason, or maybe my mom was a witch doctor and now the clan wants me to take over from her, or whatever kind of torture, or my husband is beating me, or my wife is beating me, or whatever is happening to you. So based on the reason you give, the border officer who is handling your case will either allow you to seek asylum or not, based on your story. So if in case if they're convinced that you might have a story, then they will allow you to enter Canada and seek asylum. If they are not convinced, you will be deported. And that's why this video, I thought it important to do like a separate video. If they're not convinced at the airport that Eva has valid reasons for seeking asylum, they will put you on the next plane back. If they are convinced, then it doesn't mean you're going to get asylum tomorrow. Basically, what you know they will do for you is tell you now to claim asylum. And remember, when now let's say you've been accepted, okay, fine, Eva, you're facing gender-based violence, so we feel it's okay, we can help you get asylum in Canada. But so what they're gonna give you, they'll take your biometrics, they'll take your picture, they'll take your passport, and then they're going to give you a document that allows you to seek help in Canada. They'll also give you a document that allows you to now go and file what they call the asylum claim. And from that moment, and then they'll give you a document to show that, to prove that they have submitted your case to the IRB. IRB is the refugee board that takes care of refugees. So you'll get those 3 documents. Now, here's the thing. The claim form they will give you basically is for you to tell, you see that story you have told the visa officer, now you have to put it on paper. Remember, guys, I keep telling you, for Western countries, if it's not on paper, it did not happen. So once you're given that document, you have exactly 15 days from when you get notice that, okay, now we have submitted your case to the IRB. You have exactly 15 days to submit that form, which tells the story of why you're seeking asylum. So guys, remember this, whatever you have told the visa officer for them to actually allow you to seek asylum, and then there's what you're writing on the form. All this still does not mean you're getting asylum. Once this you've filled it in this form, you'll have to submit it online, and then now starts the process. You're gonna start having court cases, because a judge has to look at your case. They have to vet you, and you're not going to court like just one day. You could go for 10 times. You could go over 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. You're still going to court. Just they're trying to handle your case. I know people who went in 2019, up to now we are in end of 2023, they still haven't had judgment made on their cases. So, and this is why this video is very important. So you can imagine you went in today, then you have 15 days to file that form. So once that's why it's very, very important. Remember, our topic is how to position yourself for relocation. So this is why it is very important. If you have it in your mind that at some point, let's say I want to go and seek asylum in Germany, I want to go and seek asylum in Canada, I want to seek asylum in the US, start up by researching and reading what the requirements are. Number 2, before you get on that plane, make sure you have your full story, of why you're seeking asylum. Remember, you're not just going to go to the immigration officer and say, okay, I'm seeking asylum because my husband is beating me. It doesn't work like that. You have to show a lot of proof of why your husband is beating you. So some of the things you'll have to do, for example, as you enter now, when now they give you that form before you even leave. So let's say, for example, you're just entering Canada. You have to remember, for you to have entered, to have gotten the visa to get to Canada, you had to fill some forms, and in those forms, one of the most, like, this is usually like question number 2. Question number 1, they will ask you for your first name, your second name, or third name. Yeah, like when you're applying for a visa to go to anywhere, you have to fill forms. Question number 2, they will ask you is your identity. So let's say, for example, you are planning, let's say you're gay, for example, and it becomes unbearable for you to reach to be in your home country. And then you go and arrive at the airport and blah, blah, blah. So you must remember, the beauty with these countries is it's not like, for example, Kenya, where you're either male or female. In these Western countries, you're allowed to be fluid. You're allowed to be a woman today, and then after this video, you feel, the way Eva looks so beautiful, I want to be a man. You're allowed to be male. And then in the evening, you're like, I don't even like the way she smiles. Or by the end of this video, like, I don't like the way she smiles. I don't care. I'm numb. It's okay. So you can actually decide to be what you want to be. But remember, guys, you're talking about positioning yourself. You have to be very, very, very clear on something as basic as your sexual orientation. And then number 2 is, if you remember, we're talking about, like, if you're going to seek asylum. So if, let's say, you've ever been harmed by your family or other people, or your family has ever been harmed or mistreated or threatened by any group of people, and maybe that's, let's say, maybe that's the basis under which you want to seek asylum, then make sure before you even leave, you have like the full story of what happened to you or your family, and your family when this incident happened. Remember, consistency is key. You could be writing your story today, but the interview is going to happen in 2029. Consistency is key. Who you think would have done it and why you think it is them. What do you think is the reason why this person did whatever they were doing to you, and also whether people in your situation have experienced such harm. So let's say, for example, you come from a community where women are forced to do, what is it called? Female genital mutilation or circumcision. So when you're still, let's say, I come from that community where women are forced to do female genital mutilation, and I don't want to do it. So this is the point whereby, before you leave, if you can find newspaper cuttings, for example, or stories of maybe a certain lady was going through FGM and she bled to death, or you found, like, I don't know, you saw a YouTube video from your community or a newspaper article, or, like a physical place, of a place where that happened, or somebody who that happened to, get evidence from them. Yeah. And make sure, for whatever cases you're talking about, the dates, the names, places, wherever possible. Okay. And then the other thing you must be prepared for is evidence that if you returned to your country, you will be harmed or mistreated or threatened. Yeah. So you must have clear evidence. And how do you do this? So let's say, for example, this is very common. Let's say if I am, maybe I'm going through gender-based violence. I want to immigrate through like my husband is beating me or my wife is beating me. So instead of every time your husband is beating you, you're running to your pastor, how about, or you're running to your charmer to go and gossip about him? How about next time when he beats you, you go to the police station? And when you go to the police station, go and write an OB. Is it OB? Or make sure you go to the hospital, get a P3 form. And while you go to report your case, if you can't record, I don't know, some countries you cannot record anything at the police station, but there are countries where you can record when you're reporting a case at the police station. If in an unfortunate situation where you're not able to record like a video, you can put an audio. You know, with the audio, nobody can tell that you are recording. So I know, like in Kenya, if it is very common, if there's a day I remember I went to register, what is it called, a community-based organization in Kibra at the chief's place. And there were so many cases of gender-based violence. I don't know if that is still the case. And for all of them, the chief kept telling them, nimechoka na hii maneno yako. Like he knows all the wife beaters and all the husband beaters. So every time they showed up, he's like, even me, I'm so tired of your cases. Can you now go and sit down and sort out your issues like adults and stuff like that? So if you go like to the police and they chase you away, make sure you have like a recording or something, because you're gonna need it. If your wife or your husband punches your face, instead of lying to your colleagues that you fall in the stairs, go to the hospital and get a P3. And I don't know if you guys watch YouTube, but I don't know how this, so when I was researching this video, there's, you probably have heard about them. There's this interracial family vloggers. They used to be called, the lady was called Nikki and the man used to be called Jamie. You can go and Google them, okay, not to Google, YouTube them. And for a very long time, these people used to pose as the perfect family. But apparently this woman, she's I think Sudanese, but they live in Australia, she really used to batter this guy. And they eventually divorced, I think 5 years ago. And for the longest time, everybody believed that the reason of the divorce was because this man was cheating on this lady. But yesterday, this guy published a video which currently has, I think, 500,000 views or 600,000 views in one day. And he was showing videos of how the wife used to beat him. He had even like a Facebook chats from way back in 2000, I don't know, and is it 16 and 15? He had Facebook chats where the lady would be like saying, I'm so sorry for hitting you yesterday, it won't happen again, and all that. So make sure you keep your receipts, because you might need them. If it is a chat, maybe it's a WhatsApp, that guy or that woman has been beating you and now they're apologizing, don't delete that chat as much as you're in love. You never know, you might need that receipt, okay? You can even just do a screenshot and send it to a secret Google account or something. So this guy was dishing receipts from way back in 2015, 2016, including videos of when that woman was beating him. So it's always important, and believe you me guys, if this guy didn't give those receipts, nobody would have believed him. He actually even says the only reason why he used to record those things is because this woman used to gaslight him so much, such that by the time, like after the incidents, he would even question, like he would question if it actually happened, you know? And he knew, because that lady used to appear like so sweet and nice and polished and all this, like there was no way nobody would ever believe his story. So that's why he said he always recorded this thing. So that's why you have to make sure that you keep all these receipts, because you will have to give evidence that if you went back to your home country, you would be harmed or mistreated or threatened. So for example, if somebody tells you, Eva, you talk back to me like that again, I'm gonna hear your face, keep that recording, because you're gonna need it in future. If, let's say, so something else you can, so let's say there are people, for example, who are hiding in the closet. Okay, they claim to be hiding. Guys, I have to tell you this story. So there's this couple that I actually know. Okay, they're not like a couple per se, but so they're both Kenyans. They immigrated to, I won't say which country, because maybe they're watching me. So they immigrated separately. So one of them, the guy had claimed asylum based on like he was gay. He claimed that he was gay and Kenya was toxic. They were not like he was being targeted. And the lady, she claimed asylum on the basis of being a lesbian. So they didn't know each other, but they all eventually landed in this country. So through a friend of mine, who was a mutual friend of theirs, these two people met. Remember, their case, actually right now as we are still talking, their cases are still pending in court in that country. And they went in, I think it was before COVID, so it's really been a long time. So they started dating. Remember, these guys are claiming asylum on the basis of being gay and lesbian. They started dating. Within, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, the girl was pregnant. So now, guys, you can imagine you're here claiming asylum for being a lesbian, but you're pregnant with a dude. And that's why, guys and girls, I told you, when you're trying to find ways to relocate and move and do all, stop dating unless that man is giving you money. This girl was not being given money. Just close those legs for 2 years. You will not die, and focus on your dream. And this one, I am addressing ladies specifically. I know some of you will come in the comments and say even the men have a responsibility. They do not have a responsibility. You are the one who is carrying that womb. It is your responsibility. Don't believe what those feminist Mwitu women are telling you. That he has an equal responsibility. You are the one who is breastfeeding. You're the one who is carrying a human being for 9 months in your tummy. You're the one who is losing shape. You're the one who is throwing up for 9 months. You're the one who is doing all those things. And that man can make 50 of you pregnant in 1 day, and his life will move on. So don't even cheat yourself that it is equal responsibility. It is not. So this happened to them. So so for me, I always just laugh when they tell me their story, and then unfortunately the guy doesn't like the lady, so it's not a very nice situation to be in. So you have to be very, like, we are talking about positioning yourself, even the decisions you make. If you know you are the kind of person who cannot stay, if you're in a relationship, you cannot close your legs, and maybe you're claiming asylum based on these things, on your sexual orientation, just leave dating out of the scene until you're done with your paperwork and everything else has happened. And then the other thing you want to make sure is that, and I've touched a little bit about this, is you're gonna have to prove that you've asked for help from, authorities such as the police, any other organizations, like let's say if you're in Kenya, we have FIDA, yeah? Any organization that you have to show proof that you have tried to ask for assistance, you have tried to ask for protection. So before you start running to other people's countries, make sure you do all this, yeah? If it is, I don't know, like the gender thing, maybe your husband is beating you or your wife is beating you and you decide to go to your pastor, make sure you have the minutes of that. I don't know about other churches, but I know like in my church, they have minutes for everything. They call them church board minutes. Even when a girl gets pregnant outside wedlock, they will actually sit in the church board and excommunicate the girl, and they minute it. So if you can access the minutes of the church board that sat down to negotiate your case with your husband or wife, ask the pastor to give you a copy. Tell them, Pastor, I want to confirm that you people actually wrote my case down. You're gonna need it as evidence. And then something else that, so make sure that, and that's what I've said, as much as you run into the pastor and to your girlfriends and your mother and his mother, and on TikTok and everywhere else, make sure you go to an authority, and you have to know what they told you. If it is OBC, get the OB, get the P3 forms, everything, have dates and names and places. Don't just say I went to the police station, because the OB will write Kilimani police station, Nigeria police station, South Africa police station, and everything else. Keep those documents. And then something else, again, I keep saying, if it's not on paper, it didn't happen. So there are some of you who, and this is another interesting story. So some of you, when you're in those relationships with those men or women, you're so lovey-dovey, things are so good. And then when she starts beating you or he starts beating you, for example, you become so bitter. Maybe when the relationship ends, you're like, I don't even want anything to do with this woman or this man. You start burning up all your pictures, everything, all the evidence that you were ever together and everything else. And guys, you know the beauty with the, let's say for example, Canada. um, if let's say if I have lived with this man for at least 1 year, and maybe we have like the rental lease is in both our names, we have a joint bank account, um, we have like WhatsApp chats we've been having with each other, we have pictures, we have with ourselves, with our friends, doing different stuff. It can be used as evidence of being a common law partner. So you don't have to be like having been married in a church or in a attorney general's office for you to be considered married. You can be a common law partner. So let's say I'm going to seek asylum based on abuse from my common law partner. So during the time we're together in Kenya or Nigeria or Ghana or Qatar or wherever, things were so good. And then when this relationship ended, I am so bitter, or he's so bitter, and just burn up everything. Don't burn up. As much as you're gonna be angry, don't burn up those pictures, or you guys when you're lovey-dovey. Don't burn up those pictures when you went for your Arura show. Don't burn those pictures when you went to I don't know whose wedding. So this is actually happened. One of my friends actually went to seek asylum in Canada, and she was seeking asylum based on gender-based violence. So there's this dude, they used to be so much in love and blah blah blah, and so back in the day we used to be like we'd take pictures and all this. So when they started having issues, she was so angry, she decided to burn up all their pictures. She burn up the whole album and delete pictures and everything. So when she was now seeking asylum in Canada, they had gone for all the court cases and everything. So she was like on the final stage. I think she was having on her second last session with the judge. So the judge wanted the evidence that they were actually together with this guy at some point, and they wanted pictures. My friend, situlitafuta mapicha. We looked for pictures. We looked for pictures everywhere. Thank God. Guys, I've been on the internet since 2004. I have been creating pictures on the internet. I've been creating content on the internet. So one thing I didn't realize actually used to happen is that, like when you take pictures, I don't know if Google still does it. If you're having an Android phone and you take pictures, it automatically saves those pictures in your Google Photos. So fortunately for her, anytime like we'd go out and we'd take pictures and blah blah blah, and we're with this guy, and me, I love taking pictures, so I'm always taking pictures of people. I had so many pictures of them together, and fortunately Google used to save them on Google Photos. So we had combed everywhere, and like when they separated, I was like, okay, these guys are no longer together, so I deleted things that were on my phone. But I came to realize that Google had actually saved them on Google Photos. So we were able to give those pictures, and she wrote me a message, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, that her case was actually approved finally. So guys, you don't want anger to come between you and what is it called? To come between you and your journey to move to whatever country it is you want to move to. And then something else, if let's say let's say you're seeking asylum based on trauma related cases, like maybe I don't have a support system in Kenya, or maybe like in my case, no, let me not say that one. I'll talk about that one later. But let's say, or let's even give an example. Let's say, I don't know what example to use. I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to be politically correct. Yeah, I don't want to expose too much, but let's say something traumatic happened to me when I was a young girl, and based on those childhood traumas, I'm having issues with my mental health now. So I can actually seek asylum based off of that. But I'm gonna need to give evidence that I have actually tried everything. So maybe I have been going for therapy, I've tried to do music classes, I have tried to do painting classes, maybe I had somebody in my life that was offering a support system and they're no longer there and stuff like that. So those are some of the preparations you have to do. So I don't know about other countries, but I know in Kenya people take mental health very lightly. And that's why you'd hear people just throwing silly words. Like the other day I was on a TikTok live and somebody had the audacity to call me Janeko. Janeko is a mad person. And somebody actually called me mad because somebody was bullying me. And by the way, you guys, you know me by now. I don't take bullying lying down. You go down, I go under. Like I'm not even, I have no energy to be the bigger person. So like you go down, I go under. You go under, I go deeper. So this person was bullying me. And then I was so angry on TikTok. I was on a TikTok live. And then this other person that happens to know me comes there and is like, hey, Janeko is a mad person. And I was just like, you're not gonna call me mad on social media and think you can get away with it. And the person was like, oh, I was just joking. And this is very common. You probably even have had people saying, oh, I'm depressed. Or when people come and say that they have mental issues, people don't take them seriously. So mental health is a big thing. If you're having mental health issues, please go and seek help. And when you go for those sessions, they always give you like a discharge sheet. They give you like diagnosis. If you're given any of that, don't throw them away, keep them. If you're having whatever kind of issues you're having in your life, go and seek help. Go and seek mental health care. And don't die with your emotional issues, because they might just be the ticket to whatever you are looking for. So make sure you seek help from your nearest healthcare institution. I don't know about other countries, but I know like Kenya, you can actually go to a mental health hospital, a public one, and they will take care of you. So it's not a big deal. Don't worry about what people are going to say, or Eva amekuwa mwenda wazimu, Eva has become mad. No. It's just like having a headache. You know what I mean? Like having a mental health issue is the same way you can have malaria or you can have cancer. So there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Seek help, and just make sure you keep whatever paperwork you might need. And then lastly, make sure you do all your the whole point of seeking asylum. It means you're in danger if you stay in your home country. You have tried everything in your power, and the only solution is to escape to a safer place. So make sure your story holds together. Make sure the story is watertight, no loopholes, because whatever loophole you have in your story is going to make it very, very difficult for you to get help. And you also don't want to be in a situation whereby, the brain is a very interesting part of our body, because sometimes what the brain tells you is different from what the reality is. And that's why I encourage people, make sure you have your storyline before you even leave your country. Because like I've said, for example, in Canada, once you get at the airport, you're going to have 15 days. If you seek asylum at the airport, from when the IRB acknowledges receipt of your claim, you have exactly 15 days to submit your claim. And that claim is what is going to be used to judge whether you get asylum or not. And remember, if they feel like you're not really in danger, they're going to deport you back to your country, and it's not a nice experience. You want to make sure that you have all the documents you need. If it's evidences from your friend, if you have maybe like in this story of Jamie and Nikki, in one of the videos where he's getting hit, his mom is actually there when this woman is hitting him. So if you have people who are there when whatever is happening to you, maybe when the pastor of your church is preaching against. So I'll give you an example. So I remember like one time in our church. I like sitting in front. And I had like nail polish. In my church, they don't like people to have artificial things. And then the pastor started talking about, some of you, you're painting your nails this color. So if, let's say, you have a weird sexual orientation, and every sermon the pastor keeps talking about people like you and whatever, and you want to use that, then you can cut out clips of those as evidence, for example. Or if, let's say, the pastor keeps saying, if a woman is not beaten, it means they are not loved. But then these are, guys, I don't know if you've seen those TikTok videos where people actually encourage violence, or it's okay to beat your wife or your husband, and you have like those clips. So whatever it is you have, or maybe your community, they're banning witches. We've seen it, I don't know about other countries, but in Kenya I have seen some clips going around in certain communities where people are being banned on the premise that they are witches and night runners. So all those, if let's say it's your family that is being targeted, unfortunately, so there are cases where those people are actually witches, but there have been cases whereby somebody has a land dispute with you, and they just go and tell on you and the community like Eva is a night runner or is a witch, and the whole community comes and burns down my house with all my chicken and everything and all my kids and stuff like that. So those are the documents you want to make sure you have. Be prepared. You don't want to just go to people's countries unprepared, and then they start asking questions and you're not even sure what your story is. You're not even sure why you're seeking help. You're not even having evidence of that you're actually in danger or what is happening with you. So it is very, very important that by the time you are leaving your country, you have clear information, and you have like a proper storyline that is makes sense, that is true, that is verifiable. That, and something else I forgot to mention is, so we've had, and I think I've shared this in a previous video, where somebody, some lady, I think she was from Zimbabwe, she was claiming asylum in, was it New Zealand or Australia? And the basis for her was that her mom used to be a witch or something, or was it her mom's dad or something, and the mom had died, and so she was scared of going back to Zimbabwe because the community had thrown like a spell on her or something. So the judge of the court was like, there is no scientific proof that whatever she was claiming, like the juju would travel from Zimbabwe and hit her in New Zealand. So whatever it is you're saying, just make sure it is something that is tangible. You can't say, for example, oh, these people are gonna put me on a saucer and throw me to Shakahola. Like, you can't talk about such, they're called supernatural things or what. And then something else is, you have to prove, like, let's say if the person who's torturing you is in Nairobi, have you tried moving to Turkana, for example? Or have you tried moving to Kisumu, for example? And if, let's say, yes, you tried moving to Turkana, why did you leave that place? Why couldn't you live there or some other place in another part of your country? So you must have evidence that you've tried living in other parts of your country, different from where the abuse or the torture or the threat to danger is taking place. You have to have evidence that you've tried seeking safety within your home country and it's just not working. Then you can also talk about, let's say you visited another country to try and seek safety. Make sure you have like your passport with you, or showing stamps that I actually tried to live in Uganda, or I tried to live in Australia, or I tried to live in the US before I actually came to Canada. So those are some of the things I wanted to just mention, that like you have to have evidence, documented evidence. I'm feeling some wind coming in. Some documented evidence that indeed your life is in danger. You could be tortured, you or your family, and and make sure that the story really flows, no loopholes, and is something that you can stand with in a court of law 3 years, 4 years down the line, and consistently give the same story. So guys, I think I'm gonna end this live here. Let me quickly read your comments and then we'll call it a day. Lydia is saying, let me be the first to comment. Thanks for the good information you always bring to us. You are welcome, Lydia. Bental is saying, I'm Ben, watching you from Libreville, Gabon. Thank you so much. Ketura, hi. China is saying, hello, dear. God bless you, nurse. May God bless you more for that you do. Oh, you're welcome. Mark is saying, good evening, Eva. Good evening to you. Nice hair. Oh, thank you so much. China is saying, thanks for the information. You are welcome. Esther wants to go to Canada. Esther, we have 405 videos on the channel that talks about going to Canada. Please go and watch. Ali Nefe, I am 18. I want to work for a cruise line. We have almost 30 videos, Grace, here on the channel about working for cruise ships. Please go and watch. Check the cruise ship playlist. All our videos are grouped into playlists, and all the titles are, what the title says is what the video is. I don't do clickbait because I don't create videos for views. I create them to help somebody. So whatever title you see on the video, that's exactly what is in the video, except for the lives where, depending on where the comments take me, sometimes I always do a trajectory, but the beginning of the video will be what the title is. Kajeta needs my contact. Please check in the description box at the bottom of this video, ivamtali@gmail.com. But remember, if you want to come to my inbox, you'll have to pay. If you have a question, ask it in the comment section. It is free. If you come to my inbox, you have to pay. Chirieg is saying, hello, Eva. Thanks for the valuable information. You are welcome. Mofa is saying, hi. Esther, good evening. Salim, thank you for the big heart. You are welcome. Matildo, hi, I want a farm job. Please search. I have shown you how to look for jobs. Angela, great advice. Thank you. Aretha, Hela, I want to go to Canada. Check to me if you can. I'm already talking to you. We have 400 plus videos about Canada. Chohadri is saying, help me, I'm going to your country. Oh, you're welcome. MK saying, hi, Eva, great information. I enjoyed every part of it. Thank you so much. You are welcome. So guys, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you here, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.